Back in the spring of 2018, I remember being in the car with my dad and his wife. And I just remember kind of talking to them a little bit about my business, where things were at with my business and how things were going. And that conversation kind of prompted me to pull up my phone because I had a goal of leaving the classroom at the end of my fifth year. And I was in my fourth year of teaching. And I was kind of looking towards the summer. I was getting married that summer. And I knew after I started to have kids and things like that, I didn't want to be in the classroom anymore. And my goal had been leave at 5 years, get those student loans forgiven, get all of that done and leave. Not because I didn't love my job, but because I knew that as much as I really enjoyed teaching, there were other things that I wanted to do with my life. And I know that that's not for everybody, but that's where I was. That's where my head was at. And at the time in my business, I was earning about $1,500 a month, somewhere in that neighborhood, pretty consistently. And so I knew that it was possible, but I still had a long way to go in order to get there and let's actually replace that teaching salary. So I was sitting there and I was looking on my TPT dashboard on my phone. And as you guys know, you can click on the little most recently sold item on your phone in that app. And it'll show you like a list of all of the top selling resources for the past 30 days, how many units have sold, how much income has come in from that. And I just kind of got curious and I was like, where is my money coming from? And I started to like count up all of the resources that were in one product line, my best-selling product line. And that one product line was accounting for over $1,000 a month of that $1,500 a month or so income. And when I realized that a significant chunk of my revenue was coming from that one product line because I had more resources than just that one product line in my store, I started to wonder, like, how do I do this again? Like, how do I create a product line that's going to do that for me again? Because at the time, I didn't have an email list. And I kind of put this story out there last week to my email list. And that was one of the questions I got back was, did you have an email list at that time? And I really didn't. I probably had an email list of maybe 50 people, if I had one at all, to be honest with you. I certainly if wasn't emailing them. Whatever people might have been on my list, I wasn't regularly sending emails to them. So those sales were coming from organic traffic and traffic that I was driving from Instagram. And so I started to really think, how can I duplicate that success that I saw with that one product line and create resources that are going to bring in a similar amount of revenue? And I said out loud to my dad, I said, I had just calculated this and almost all of my revenue is coming from this one product line. If I could just do this four more times, I'd be making over $5,000 a month. I could leave the classroom like no problem, right? And 1 year and a few months later, the summer of 2019, I left the classroom and I was able to do that by consistently out earning my teaching salary after creating two more product lines for my store. What I did was I went home and I looked at why were those products selling? Why were those resources bringing in more money than other resources that I'd put just as much time, energy, and effort into? And was it just luck? Was it just chance? Did I just happen to create this perfect resource, hit this magic resource? And would I even be able to duplicate that again? I didn't know. But when I sat down and I started looking at the feedback, what teachers were telling me, when I took a look at my sales reports and I looked at the data and I followed the numbers, I realized that there was actually a reason why those products were bringing in so much more revenue than other resources in my store. And I wrote down all of those reasons why I believed that they were selling better and why I believed that they were bringing in more consistent revenue. And that I used that information, I used that data to help me build out those next two product lines, which in turn made those product lines more successful than previous resources that I just put out. But I say all of this to say that, like, prior to that moment where I sat down and I'm going through the numbers and I'm going through the data and I'm going through the teachers' reviews, I truly thought what I had heard a lot of successful TPT sellers say before was true for everyone. that like I was just going to have to keep putting out resources, creating new product lines, creating new types of resources until something took off that I was going to have to hit like magically, like just magically come up with something that teachers were going to love and enjoy, and that I would not be able to know whether or not a product was going to be successful before I created it. I was just going to create it, put it out there, and see what happened. And when that mindset shift happened for me from like, oh, I don't have to guess. Like I can actually know it's going to work. Going from thinking like it's all guesswork and luck to realizing that there's a formula for success and for knowing whether or not a product line is going to be successful, it made my goals for my business seem much more doable. Like it seemed like I can do this. Like if I want to leave the classroom, I can leave the classroom. And I say this because it's extremely important to me that you know that there doesn't have to be all this guesswork and luck involved in your success in your business. Like you can create a product that you know will be successful. Now, to varying degrees of success. I'm not telling you that I'm going to give you the secret recipe and then all of a sudden you're going to be a millionaire. But what I'm saying is you don't have to just wait and hope and pray that your resources are going to make you money. If that were the case, it would be a very long and difficult journey on TPT. And if that's the journey that you've been on so far, I'm going to tell you to stop, right? Stop right now and go and sign up for this challenge because I've got this once a year challenge that kicks off this Friday, June 2nd, called 5 Days to a 5K Product Idea. And we're going to help you. I'm going to give you the formula, the secret recipe, so to speak, and I'm going to help you create a profitable product line. I'm going to walk you through like how I realized exactly why my products were being successful and how I took that information and used it to create new product lines. I'm going to teach you the secret behind why those products were successful for me and how I use that knowledge and information to create product lines that would also experience similar amounts of success and get my business to where it needed to be within just a little over a year. And that's what we're going to do for you. We're going to get you where you need to be. We're going to help you create a profitable product line that you can start working on this summer and get yourself ready for back to school. This is the perfect time to do it. You don't want to miss out. I'm only going to do this once this year. I don't have any plans to do it again until next summer, at least. So you don't want to miss this. It's absolutely free. So there's going to be so many other fun and free things along the way as well. We're going to do a co-working call where you're going to be able to work alongside other TPT authors. We have a roundtable chat that's already started. It's going to be super fun where you can ask advice and share ideas within a private chat only for challenge members. And then we're going to have live Q&A calls where you can ask questions about a product idea that you have or anything else that you have in regards to your TPT business. You don't want to miss it. These videos are all pre-recorded, so you're going to be able to watch them at your own pace. But the challenge starts on June 2nd. And you can find the link down inside of the description because I really want you to be there. Do not miss this. Go sign up right now. I think there's about 700 people already signed up for this challenge. And I'm really hoping that we're going to get to over 1,000 TPT sellers who are going to be working on building out a profitable product line this summer. And I can't wait to share all of that with you guys. Later this week, we are going to have Sarah Weiss on the podcast. She's going to be talking about TikTok and Instagram marketing. She's absolutely fabulous. It's a really fun conversation. So make sure you stick around this week and you check out that podcast. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. I'm going to see you in the challenge this Friday.